is Maria Bookerton, and I have an experiment for you guys to try next time you guys are in a big group. Take a big yawn, cover your mouth to be courteous to the people around you, and watch and see what happens. Chances are you'll see a lot of open mouths and deep breaths. Before you listening, that's because people will be yawning. Before you end listening to the speech, you'll probably yawn as well. I'm not intending to bore you, but hearing somebody yawn or seeing somebody else yawn can make us yawn as well. How I came up with this speech, I was sitting in class and I couldn't stop yawning, and I wasn't bored or tired, so I thought about other reasons that I could be yawning. I'll talk about 3 things in my speech. The first, I'm going to talk about what makes us yawn, and then I'm going to move on to yawning theories, and then contagious yawning. So what's behind this mysterious epidemic? First, let's look at the bodily motion. According to Merriam-Webster, the definition of a yawn is to open mouth wide and take a deep breath, usually in voluntary reaction to boredom or fatigue. According to Women's and Children's Health Network, many parts of the body are in action when you are yawning. The first, you open your mouth and your jaw drops. This allows more air to rush into your lungs. As your diaphragm muscle is pushed down flat, letting more air into your lungs than usual. As the air rushes into your lungs, your body takes out the oxygen and you breathe out the remaining carbon dioxide. We know yawning is involuntary because we do it even before we are born. According to Robert Pavane, a developmental neuroscientist at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, research has shown that an 11-week-old fetus has yawned in its mother's womb. While yawning is commonly associated with boredom and fatigue and drowsiness, your heart rate can raise as much as 30% during a yawn. Yawning is also a sign of arousement, including sexual arousement. Now that you know what a yawn is, I'm going to move on to the 4 main theories of yawn. First is the physiological theory. It says that large groups of people produce more carbon dioxide, and as a result, our bodies want to take in more oxygen, so we yawn. This is why you see yawning among big groups of people. The second is the evolution theory, which states that our ancestors used yawning to scare away others and to change what they were doing in activity. The third one is the most common one that you probably think of as boredom. Although we do tend to yawn when we are bored, that does not explain why an Olympian yawns before his or her event, or why a dog yawns before he attacks. And the fourth one is the most recent one. It's the brain cooling theory. People yawn when their brains are warmer. This has been tested by having some subjects breathe through their nose and put cold or hot packs onto their foreheads. Why does it matter if our brains are hot or cold? Cold brains can think more clearly. Hence, yawning might have been developed to keep us alert and focused. So now that you have an idea what causes yawning, let's look at why seeing somebody yawn or talking about yawning can make us yawn. Contagious yawning comes from witnessing someone or thinking of another person yawning. According to studies, 42 to 55% of human adults will yawn after or during watching a video of someone yawn repeatedly. Evolutionary psychologist Gordon Gallup best describes contagious yawning as a primitive, empathetic mechanism related to mental state attribution. Yawning activates the motor, imitation, empathy, and social behavior parts of the brain. Neurons can fire, causing you to feel what that person is experiencing, commanding you to perform the action even if you do not feel the need. In conclusion, I have talked about what makes us yawn, the 4 major yawning theories, and contagious yawning. So now I have a question. How many of you guys noticed yourself yawning during the speech? If you found yourself yawning, I hope it was not because my speech was boring, but because I put the thought of yawning into your head.